Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, July 16th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a few things. Number one, if you would like for me to do an analysis on one of your positions, then go ahead, comment down below, make a request, and I'll do my best to get to it. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So that's what that 30 means, and what that represents is each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So keep that in mind. And then also right here, that candlestick will be moving around and changing. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. So ticker symbol number one, AMIX. Big mover today, and has now given us a very, very solid pattern. So as I draw this pattern into play, please realize that I'm not trying to impress you or anything like that, because a lot of people have noticed this pattern. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So let me change that to green to represent support, and then maybe make this easier to see. Let's keep this all the same color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the huge explosive move like that. For you golfers, I'll make it a little bit more visually appealing. So put the golf ball down here, and this would be a bull pennant pattern. So again, there are no guarantees, but is it plausible? Is it valid to say that if the price comes up here and pushes up through the top part of that area, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a more than plausible scenario. So if you like stocks down below $2, you like bull pennant patterns, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, ticker symbol FFIE. Very, very impressive mover today. Has really come back to life, especially when you look down here at the volume. No doubt about it. Good, solid amount of volume, and of course, great price movement with it. So definitely some updates need to be done here. So let's map out some levels of support. And the first area of support is what I would call the ideal level. I mean, if you say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? And that would be if the price could stay up there above the 50-cent mark. Now, don't get me wrong. If the price falls below 50 cents, I'm not saying the entire chart's epically destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But yeah, if the price could manage to stay above that level, that would certainly be a great sign of power. Now, taking a step back and looking at things from the bigger picture point of view, that is where the purple line comes into play. The 50-period simple moving average right there. Keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. And as long as the price stays above that line, as the line itself moves higher and higher, then by default, by definition, the overall trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. Again, preferably speaking, staying above 50 cents right there would be best case scenario. But as long as the price does stay above that purple line, as itself moves higher and higher, then the bulls are in full health. In terms of areas of resistance, no need to overcomplicate this. Literally just a question of, well, where did the party finally stop today? And the party finally stopped right up there at the 55-cent mark. So keep a close eye on that. But anyway, look at it. Fantastic way to start off the new week with huge volume and very nice price movement. Next one, MARA, and wow, really came to life today. Got the gap up right here, and then even after the gap up, it was pretty much a nice, slow, steady grind. Can't say that every single 30-minute session was red, was green. There was a few red ones in there, but overall, very powerful move. So updates certainly need to be done here on this one. So let's first start by talking about that ideal level, which I just talked about, that ideal area being, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look truly the most strong moving forward? And that would be right there at that $23 mark. But again, and now I'll go through this a little quicker so I don't repeat myself. But price falls below it. By no means is it the end of the world, because from an overarching standpoint, just watch your purple line right there, that 50-period moving average. And as time goes by and as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price stays above there, bulls are in full control. And then in terms of areas of resistance, the sellers really made themselves quite apparent. And you can see that right up here at $25. And let's see, yeah, about 3 times. Once, twice, 3 times the price tried to get up through there, and each and every time that $25 mark smacked it right back down. So that's not to say that the price can never break above 25. I'm just saying it's become a very apparent area where the sellers are currently hanging out at. But all in all, very, very nice start to the week here for MARA. Next one, DJT, and I like this setup a whole lot. Mainly because of the first 30 minutes in a weird way, because first 30 minutes were looking pretty rough. Had the gap up, it started to drop, and when it's dropping, it becomes a valid question to say, uh-oh, is this some sort of gap and trap pumping up? What exactly is going on? And got the answer. The price actually not only stopped going down, but I want to draw that in here, slight little upwards trend to it. So you can see nice little upwards movement here. And then to go along with that, a very well-defined breakout point has now been established. And you can see that right up here at the top part of this sideways channel at $42.70. So in many senses, just a little miniature ascending triangle pattern. So it's a question of sometime, not necessarily does it have to happen on Tuesday, but over the next couple of days, can the price, is it going to come back up that level and get the break up through it? That's the big question that you got to think a lot of people are watching. Again, not a great discovery on my part. So there's, again, time for that, talking point of potential self-fulfilling prophecies. But yeah, more than valid to think that the price could come up there, break through 42.70, and then potentially launch it back up to those highs, if not even higher than where the price is at right there. But if you like these scenarios where you get a big move up, get a pretty nasty pullback, but then all of a sudden the price starts to behave like this, starts to slowly creep its way back upwards, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, LCID. Very, very impressive move on Friday, and then quite a bit of a pullback here. But what makes this interesting is look at where the price is currently hanging out at. Right there at that purple line, which on my chart is denoting the very common, the very well-known 50-period moving average. I mean, you've already heard me talk about it a couple times before about how, from an overarching standpoint, as long as the price stays above that level, that's what you want to see. And as I speak right now, the price is literally right at that area, which brings about the more than valid question, is the price going to be able to hold? Can it hold strong, or is this thing about to pick up more downside momentum? So that's going to be the first dynamic. It's just how does the price continue to behave? As I said, right now, so far so good. Price is doing a good job of respecting it. Does that continue? We'll see what happens. If the price does try to bounce back upwards, then the key initial area of resistance to watch very closely will be right there at $3.80. If the price cannot hold above the purple line and the price starts to drop down below there, next key area of support at that point would be down there right around the $3.50 mark. So yes, very interesting dynamic, especially now if you're a breakout player, you probably don't really care too much about this one. But for those of you that like to play pullbacks, yeah, definitely some interesting stuff here. Real quickly, I want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free class that I'm offering. So if you've been enjoying, you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then go ahead, use the link down below if you're watching on YouTube in the description box, or if you're watching right at my site, there's an area on the page itself. But go to this page, click that yellow button, submit your email, and then you can watch this free class and do it right away as it is on demand. Next one here, NVDA, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos that I've done on this one. But the level here that I've been talking about, and I want to quickly just reiterate here, is all about the pink line, 200 period moving average. Definitely a very famous level, and this is exactly why it's famous. You can see a couple times here the price bounce from it, bounce, 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 and never really tested it today, but you can see last 30 minutes. That's why I like to do these when the market's still open, but last 30 minutes, as the price comes down, it's looking like, no guarantees, of course, but a good chance that on Tuesday that level is going to get tested, which brings about a very interesting question. What exactly happens? Because there's going to be long saying, well, I think it'll bounce again, and those people rightfully so. There's also going to be bearish people saying, I think if the price falls below there, I want to get short because I could see that creating a cascade effect to the downside, and they're also right. But that's why risk management matters, because somebody's going to be right, somebody's going to be wrong. But the moral of the story here is a lot of people are going to be watching and wondering, how does the price behave at that 200 period moving average? Now, in the event the price all of a sudden just decides to turn itself around, then from an overarching standpoint in terms of areas of resistance are concerned, just watch that purple line right there, 50 period moving average. You can see earlier today the price already got rejected from it once, so we want to keep a close eye on that. But all things considered, it's hanging in there, looking like it's going to do battle with that 200 period moving average, so we'll see if that can hold or not on Tuesday. Next one, TSLA. Tesla started off the day oh so nice, but not a very good looking afternoon here as the price has pulled back. Now, don't get me wrong, pullbacks, there's nothing wrong, but you ideally want to see the key levels hold strong, and that's not the case here. Maybe you've guessed what the key level here is, but yes, if you said probably that purple line, and absolutely, and you can see this last 30 minutes here with the price pushing down below there, not exactly the type of close you want to see. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that this thing is going to continue downwards, but nobody could accuse you of being crazy to think that, yeah, I think Tesla could very well have more of a red day on Tuesday, just based on the nature of how downwards pressure there was showed up this afternoon. But in terms of areas of support, first key level that I would definitely keep a close eye on, and I talked about this in last week's video, right here at $250. You can see this was a former area of resistance right here, and that's just based on foundational rules and charting. When levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So we'll see if that does happen or not. If it doesn't, and the price starts to drop to the, if the price starts to drop here to the downside, then that's one of those situations where you start to say, uh-oh, the price is essentially starting to go back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make great moves up, then all of a sudden go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. So it hasn't done that yet, but yeah, $250, definitely going to be a very important level to watch for Tuesday on Tesla. Next one, AEON. Probably should have talked about this one earlier because same general idea of DJT. Remember, DJT made a surge upwards, and this one definitely made a surge upwards. Then all of a sudden, it's starting to pull back. But late day here, you can see at least have gotten some sideways movement. Now, I wish I could say trend was this season, say that just because the price is going sideways, that therefore means the pullback's over, and it's for sure going back upwards. Not quite that easy. My point here is it at least a rational thought? Is there some logic behind thinking that, you know what, I'm thinking this thing might be getting ready to, turn itself around, head back up? That is certainly a more than plausible thought process on your end. So it's really just a question of, once again, if you're a breakout player, probably not too interested in this. But if you're someone that likes to play pullbacks where you get an initial surge, then things start to pull back a little bit more, and then you look for some sideways movement where the pullback may be over, then I'd certainly keep an eye on this, especially if you like the price range down here below $5. Next one here, SOUN, and should have totally put this one right next to LCID. If you don't remember, LCID was a one that was also sitting right at its 50-period moving average, because everything I said in that video or in that analysis completely holds true here. That's a very important level. Now, I will say that if the price falls below there, does that mean everything's epically destroyed? It doesn't, but preferably speaking, in terms of what would make this chart look the strongest, definitely staying above that purple line there would be great. If the price does not hold above it, the next key area of support would be the bottom of this consolidation area right down here, around $5.25. If it does try to curl back upwards, then the key area of resistance is looking to be right here at the top part of this bounce right there, which was at the $6 mark. So keep an eye on that. But big picture wise, still very much so in an uptrend. Nothing can go straight up every single day. And pullbacks are healthy as long as pullbacks build those higher bases. And right now it's doing a great job of respecting and maintaining that purple line there. So we'll see if it can continue that into Tuesday. Next one, TQQQ, and I like this one just because it's given us, at least in my opinion, a very well-defined level that you can work with. Whether you think the price bounces or hold is up to you, but like I said, I think this area right here, we now have basically 3 data points at $80.40. You can see right here, bounced, and then even the last 30 minutes, once again, bounce. And it goes back to that talking point of risk management, because somebody's going to be wrong, somebody's going to be right. People thinking, I think this thing, if it comes back down there, it'll bounce again. I totally get what they're saying. Other people are saying, no, I think if it comes down there and falls below it, I think at that point it's going to go to the downside. Both people are right, because that's a very important technical level there that's revealed itself at $80.40. So, kind of pick your poison, set the stop loss, and then you can see what happens if you like to play those sorts of scenarios. Maybe you don't like to play bounces or anything like that. And if you're looking to play more so kind of turnarounds and breakouts, then we have a pretty well-defined area of resistance right here with that purple line, 50-period moving average. But yeah, no doubt about it, last 30 minutes here got pretty crazy, but to give credit's due, it did do a good job of bouncing off that $80.40 mark. So it'll be very interesting to see if that can hold strong moving forward, because if it doesn't and the price starts to fall down below it, now you have that problem once again where the price has gone right back to where it was. And as I already talked about earlier, price movements that make nice bounces and then all of a sudden go right back to where they were, not exactly a sign of genuine power. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but again, for you stock traders out there, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can and should be used to build consistency, then go to the link, hit that yellow button, submit your email, and then you can watch an on-demand class that'll just walk you through all sorts of good stuff. So like I said, if you want to learn more, then definitely check out the link, hit that or register your email, and then you will get instant access to this free training. Now, one quick clarification here. We are no longer on the 30-minute time frame. We are on the 4-hour time frame. Try that again. There we go. 4-hour. Why is that? There we go. 4-hour time frame. And that is because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And in order for this video to remain relevant for as long as possible, I like to try to use a longer time frame. But needless to say, over the weekend, Bitcoin has done very, very well. And the easiest way to see this is that the price is now broken back above that pink line there, the 200-period moving average. And that's also where your first question comes into play. So let's just say, for argument's sake, you're watching this video 15, 20 hours after I upload it. Question number one you need to ask yourself is, where is the price at relative to the 200-period moving average? As long as you're saying that the price is up above that level, then as far as I'm concerned, the chart is perfectly fine. Even if the price pulls back and is down around here, that's okay. As I've already said, nothing can go straight up. Pullbacks are fine as long as key levels hold, and that's a key level. So as long as you're saying, yeah, price is above the 200-period moving average, then the chart is totally bullish. How bullish? Well, I mean, if the price is, way up there, then that would be much more bullish than if the price is pulled back. But you get the idea. At the core, it's just, can the price maintain itself? If you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is down below that level, next immediate question becomes, okay, well, where's the price at relative to the 50-period moving average? As long as the price is above there, then overall, I don't really see anything too much wrong at all. Yeah, it would be great if the price can stay above the pink line, but as long as the price is above that purple line, then everything's fine. If you're answering the question if the price is down below that purple line, well, how far down below it? And the further down below it, that would represent the more kind of bearishness that has shown up. But I don't think you'll be answering it that way, but I suppose you never know. And as an invite to the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader because what you're learning about in this free class can and definitely should be used within your Bitcoin and crypto trading. So go to the link down below, get signed up with your email, and gain instant access to this free class and watch it, whenever best fits your schedule. So thanks for watching. As always, if you enjoy these top 10 videos, hit that like button, leave a request down below. I'll do my best to it, and definitely get signed up and watch the live class. Or I'm sorry, not live, but gain instant access to this class. So if there's any questions or anything like that, let me know down below. Thanks for watching.